Okay, so far we've shown a few examples of using Postman to make a single, let's say, fixed value post, like registering my nodes with serial numbers, or taking a single task and running it recursively with the runner tool. But what if you had a situation where you wanted to do what I would call a compound task? Like in this example, what I want to do is I want to create a few fabric interface policies and more than one and put them into a group. How would I do that? How would I do a compound type post? And I stumbled across a fun way to do this, and I kind of call it a shortcut within ACI. There's a tool in the 1.2 and later release of code, called the config rollback or a snapback type tool. And so I'm on that page now. It's under the admin tab, and what I can do is at any point in time I can create a snapshot for the fabric or for a given tenant. So if I just say create snapshot now, you'll see another snapshot will show up. Now I'll call that my baseline snapshot. And what we can do later on is do some configurations for policies manually, and then create another snapshot, and then do a diff between them. And what that will do is that will actually show us the configuration that we just did, nicely written for us in XML already. So you don't even have to know how to format the XML. The tool will do it for you. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to create some policies really quick and put them into a group. So under interface policies, let's create two policies. We'll create a CDP policy, and I'll say CDP is, let's say, off, and then I'll create an LLDP policy here, and I'll say that is on. We'll leave that as on. There we go. We've created two quick policies. Of course, you could create as many policies as you want, but for sake of time, I'll just create those two. And then what I want to do is I want to put those into a policy group. So I'll go ahead and create a policy group. Let's say I'm going to do it for a VPC in this case, and I'll just call it VPCA. And I'll go ahead and select my policies. Here we go, and hit submit, and there we go. So I've done the work. Now let's go back to the admin tab, back to the config rollback, and let's create another snapshot now. And what we can do is we can click on the latest snapshot, and at the bottom we can actually compare with any previous snapshot. So I'm going to select the last one, and as you can see in this window, everything in green is something that's changed, that we've actually added. So what you do is if you just basically take um, everything in this window, starting at the bracket that says Paul Uni, all the way down to the bottom where the bracket closes, and we can copy that. What we can do is we can then take that to your favorite text editor, because there's a little bit of massaging we have to do, but not too much. So in my case, I use Text Wrangler. It's actually free. I'll go ahead and paste that in. Now, you'll notice there's some funny characters in here that we need to get rid of. There's little carets right here that kind of came from the tool. Those would, cause this configuration to fail. So what we can do is we can find replace. We can look for the caret and just replace it with nothing, and just say replace all. And there you go. You can actually see that they're all done now. Yeah, everything else is in order. So what we can do is we can now select all and copy all of this, and we can take that back to Postman, and we'll close this. And what we can do here is create a new post. We'll call that XML text, and we'll paste all that in. Right, all of that is properly formatted, and then the next question becomes, where do we, where do we actually post this? Because we're actually manipulating multiple objects. What's my URL going to be? So there's another neat little shortcut that if you put this is sort of what we call the top level object, and that object looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. So it's your APIC IP /API/MO for managed object /UNI.xml. Now this could be UNI.xml because I'm using XML, or if you're using JSON, it could be UNI.json. But this is kind of the top level, the top of the universe kind of managed object. So anything we post here, as long as we have relative names and distinguished names called out in the body, it will actually know which object that we want to manipulate. So if I want to do all this, what I'll do is I'll roll back, right, to prove the point. I'll click in the snapshot tool, and I'll roll back to this configuration. So what that means is I no longer have any policies under here, and no policy groups or anything like that. Now if I go back to Postman and I say send, right? Oop, we got a 403 forbidden, so that's a good error that we popped up, because what that really means is my token actually timed out. So let's actually log in again real quick. So I'm going to go into one of my things and say send, got my new cookie. I'll go back here and now I'll say send, and see, now we got our 200 OK. So I'm actually glad I got that error, because you might come across that error as well. So let's go back and look. There we go. We can see our policies are back, and our policy group VPCA is actually there. So this is a way for you to do a sort of compound object-related management, where things might not conveniently fall under one part of the tree. It might be manipulating multiple objects. But there you have it.